Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Learn Linux TV. In today's video, I am going to do something that you guys have been asking me to do for a while now, and is also something I've been wanting to do for a while now, which is create more Proxmox content, and that starts today in this video, where I am going to show you guys the process of setting up Windows Server, specifically Windows Server 2019, as a virtual machine in Proxmox. I'm going to show you the entire installation process and all of the settings that you need to choose to make this process work properly. And then by the end of this video, you will have your very own installation of Windows Server 2019 running in Proxmox. So let's go ahead and get started. And I've already navigated to the URL for my Proxmox server, as you can see. So I'm just going to click Login. And then we need to create a new VM for this purpose. So I will click Create VM. And then we can go ahead and configure the details for this particular instance. For the VM ID, I'm going to give it a relatively high number here. Just want to make sure that it shows up at the very end of the list here. And for the name, I'm going to call it Win2K19. And then I'll go to the next tab here. And we need to select an ISO image for Windows Server, which at this point you should have already uploaded that to your Proxmox server. So I actually have a FreeNAS ISO storage pool right here. I probably should rename that to TrueNAS, but anyway, it works. So I'll select the Windows Server 2019 ISO that I've already downloaded and uploaded to the storage. And then over here, we need to configure the type. And we'll select Microsoft Windows. And then we'll leave this here at 10/2016/2019. That's fine. So on this tab, we do want to enable the QEMU agent. That should be the only change that we have to make here. And for the hard disk, we're going to change this around a little bit. So first of all, we want to choose SCSI as the type of hard drive we have. And we'll make sure that VirtIO SCSI is the option. It's the only option here, so that's good. And optionally, you can enable discard support if you'd like. And then for cache, we want to go ahead and drop that down. And we'll choose write back because that's going to give us the best support. And we also want to make sure that we are saving the virtual hard drive on the proper storage. In my case, this is not the correct answer. That's actually where my backups go. I'm going to get better performance in my case if I choose the internal storage, specifically local LVM. As you can see, I have plenty of space available for it. And for the disk size, I'm going to change that to 64 gigabytes. 32 was probably fine, but I want to make sure that I don't run into a situation where I run out of space later, so I think 64 will be more than enough. And then next. And I'm going to give this server multiple cores. I want it to run fairly fast. I'll leave it up to you to decide how many threads you want to provide this VM. I think 4 is more than enough. It's probably overkill actually. So let's click Next. And for the amount of memory, I'm going to choose 4096. I want to make sure that it has plenty of memory to work. And then Next. Now in my case, VMBR0 is not the proper bridge. I have a dedicated network for the VMs to use on the back end. And that is this one right here. And then I'm going to adjust the network card. And I'm going to choose this option here, VirtIO Paravirtualized. Per the documentation on the Proxmox site, this is the recommended option for that, so that's why I'm going with that. I'm going to leave all the other options here as their default. And then Next. It's giving me a summary, but I don't want to check this box right here. I'm going to make a few more adjustments before I do that, so I'll click Finish. You can see the VM is actually being created right here, so I'll give that a moment to finalize. And it looks like it's done. So I'm going to click on it. And then on the Hardware tab, I'm actually going to add another CD-ROM device. So I'll click Add, CD/DVD drive, and per the documentation, I'm going to give this a bus ID of 3. And then down here, I'm going to choose the ISO storage. Again, in my case, it's this one right here. And there's a very specific ISO image that you will want to download and attach right here. So if I drop this down, I already have it downloaded. So I'll scroll down. And I have a few of them right here, but what I'm doing is I am attaching a special ISO that contains all the drivers that we're going to need. So you will need to download this before we can begin. So I'll select that, and then I'll click Create. Now, if you don't already have that particular ISO downloaded, and you probably don't, what you'll want to do is go to a specific website, and I will have a link to this in the description below, but I'll just paste it in right here. And down here it says, for details on downloading the drivers, please see this URL. I will click on that. And the link below in the description will take you right to this page. Then what you want to do is click this first link right here, and that'll download the ISO image. And then all you have to do is upload that to your ISO storage on Proxmox. And once you do that, then you can make sure that the new CD-ROM drive that you've added has that ISO attached to it. As you can see, in my case, I already have that set up. So now we can begin. Now, before you get started, you might want to consider going to Options. And where it says Start at Boot, you might want to turn that on if this is something that you always want to have running. And if you are setting up a production domain controller for Active Directory or something like that, then you probably do want this enabled. So now we should be ready to go. We can go ahead and right-click on this and click Start. And then in the console, we can begin to get it set up. So as you can see, it's already booting from the Windows Server ISO image. So I'll give that a moment to finish. All right, so here we have the very first screen of the installation process. So hopefully the text size on this screen right here inside the console isn't too hard to read. So all it's doing is it's asking me for the language for the installation process, the time format, and the keyboard layout. So you can customize yours accordingly and then click Next. And then Install Now. So in my case, I am going to choose the second option right here that does actually include the desktop experience. You can choose this option right here to get the standard version of Server 2019 without the desktop experience. But unless you are wanting to create a very customized and stripped down installation, you should probably go with the version that includes the full desktop experience. And we'll continue on. And I will accept all of the terms. Hopefully there's nothing too egregious in there. And then I'll choose Custom for the installation type. And you'll notice that it's not detecting the virtual hard drive at all. That's okay. I knew that would happen. And that's why I had you create that second CD/DVD drive and attach the VirtIO ISO to it, because we're going to fix that right now. So we'll click Load Driver, and then Browse. And then here, in my case, we have drive E. And as you can see, attached to that is that ISO image that we've downloaded earlier. So if I expand it, we should see a directory called VIO SCSI. And here it is. So we'll expand that. And then we will expand the 2K19 folder that you see right here. And then we'll select AMD 64 and click OK. And it did find the driver that it wants there in that directory. So far so good. I'll click Next. It's going to install that driver. So it looks like that driver package was exactly what it needed. And it's an empty drive. I'll just click Next. And now it's going to go ahead and install Windows Server. So I'm going to let this run, and then I will be right back when it's finished. All right, so the installation was complete, and now it's just rebooting. And now it's rebooting again. Almost there. So I'm going to go ahead and set a password for the administrator user right now. And then I'll click Finish. And now it wants me to press Alt-Control-Delete to unlock the screen. But of course, if I did that on my laptop, that would actually not unlock the screen and do something on my laptop. So instead, you can go here, then click this three-finger salute icon. And that'll unlock the screen. And then we could type in our password. And now we have Windows Server 2019 installed in a VM running in Proxmox. However, we're not quite done yet though, because there's a few more things that we should do to make sure that our installation is in the best shape we can get it in. So what I will do is right click here on the Start button, and then I will go to Device Manager. And we see that there's a few things here that we don't have drivers for, so we should take care of that. So I'll right click on the first one, I'll click Update Driver, and then Browse, Browse again. And all I should have to do is just simply choose the CD drive. I shouldn't have to drill down and choose an individual folder. So I'll click OK. So I'm just basically searching the E drive for drivers. The Include Subfolders checkbox is checked. So I'll click Next. And it's found the driver, so I will install it. And then close. And then it's asking if I would like this server to be accessible by other PCs on the network. In fact, I do, so I'll click Yes. And then close right here. And then I will repeat for this device. I'll click Update Driver, Browse, and it remembered the last thing that I had selected here, so I'll click Next. It's found the driver, and it's already finished installing it, so I'll click Close. We have one more device right here to install a driver for, so I'm just doing the same thing yet again. And it's done. So now we have all the drivers installed that we want to have installed on our Windows server, but there's one more thing that we should install. So I'll click here to open a file manager window, click on this PC, we will access the CD drive, and then we will drill down to Guest Agent, then double click on the 64-bit version. And actually that's it, there's no confirmation or anything. It's installed the QEMU agent that's required for the agent to work and interact with the underlying Proxmox server. So now we should have everything that we need to go ahead and start using this Windows server. Now in my case, I am running the evaluation mode, so I highly recommend that you apply a license to this installation, because if you don't, it could actually have problems with Proxmox. So you definitely want to make sure that you get this registered before the trial is over if you are using a trial. So in my case, I'm going to shut it down. And then I will go to the Hardware tab. I shouldn't need either of these CD drives anymore, so I may as well remove them. No sense having any hardware on here that I don't intend to use, but if you do intend to use the CD drive every now and again, you could just leave that installed. I'm never going to use either of those again, so I've deleted them. And now I can start it back up. And there you go. Everything is all set. So there you go. That was my process for installing Windows Server on a VM running in Proxmox. I hope it was helpful. And I'm going to have more Proxmox content coming very soon. I can't wait. So if you haven't already done so, click that subscribe button and you'll see my new Proxmox videos as soon as they come out. Until then, thanks so much for watching.